Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining me today. I am doing a 1 year post op from my total thyroidectomy. It's nearly been a year. It's a few days sooner than the actual year or anniversary date, but I had the time and I decided I better do it today before time slips away from me. I'm sure all of you can relate. So let's begin. First, we'll look at my scar because that is what a lot of people are concerned about. And you can see a slight scar right there, still on my neck. Let me see if I can adjust. There you go. And hopefully you can see the scar. My scar ended up being pretty good. Overall, I'm pleased. I do have a drain tube scar right about there. It is kind of raised up on my skin, and I don't think it'll ever go away, even with scar cream. I'm very, very happy that I actually don't have a huge scar. If you look at me in certain types of light, you will not even notice it. Some people don't even notice unless I mention it to them, which is a great plus, and I'm happy about that. So I can't complain. If you private message me, I may be able to share with you my surgeon in the Midwest who I used. Okay, the next thing that I want to talk about 1 year post op is medication. I don't know if you've seen any of my other videos, and if you have, you will know that I started out on Synthroid and it was not compatible for me. I felt like a train wreck, and this is just my experience, so I should back up and give a bit of a disclaimer. I'm not a physician. I have been trained in science, however, but I'm not a physician, can't give any sort of medical advice. This is just my personal opinion and my personal experience. Okay, so with the Synthroid, it simply didn't work for me. They adjusted it several times and they tried to make it work because, as we all know, the insurance companies love synthetic medication to cover. So, long story short, my endocrinologist was kind enough to go ahead and try Armour Thyroid for me, which is actually desiccated pig thyroid, if I'm not mistaken. And it's actually worked okay for me. So I can't complain. We've adjusted it a few times just based off of my energy level. Thank goodness I have an endo that bases her recommendations off of how you feel as well as numbers. As you all know, the numbers game tends to be pretty big with endocrinologists because they want you to have your TSH, your free T4, free T3, all of those fun things within certain parameters. Okay. And like I told my physician, I feel like I'm special because just because these numbers represent one thing, I may feel another way. So I need someone that's going to work with me on how I actually feel based off of numbers, which ended up being a really good thing for me to bring up front with my endocrinologist because from what I understand, there's many who will not work with you based off of how you feel. It's only numbers. And I also want to say, find an endocrinologist that will mix synthetic medication or just traditional pharmaceutical meds if you because you have to have them with the total thyroidectomy with natural meds or natural I guess I won't say natural meds also because we know that that's the Armour Thyroid or the Westroid, whatever you get placed on, but also with vitamins, minerals, etc. Because if they look at the big picture and the whole body, you will feel a little bit better. So back to the Armour Thyroid, it's working for me okay. I have had to have it adjusted, like I mentioned. In fact, we've adjusted it yet again where they would not up my prescription, even though I wanted them to. She said that my thyroid was in a good range, the numbers game again, and she wanted to keep it that way. But if you actually look at the numbers, I'm slightly hypothyroid still, and I do get tired, and I tend to go, go, go like Energizer. And that has really been difficult for me to pace myself because when I feel good, and I'm ready to go, and I want to keep going. And then I crash and burn, do it all over, perhaps get a migraine, perhaps get a headache, stomach ache, something, but I typically end up paying for it. And I'm not the best sleeper in the world. I tend to struggle with insomnia in addition to the migraines. So that's really not been the best road for me, but thank God I'm starting to heal and recover from that. But I digress back into the Armour Thyroid. It's been really a godsend based off of my energy levels from a year ago to now. And now I understand that there was some recovery period within that year, but I consistently felt awful when I took the Synthroid. And so I'm not interested in going on it again. And of course, like I said, that's what the insurance companies want to cover because it's very controlled. They understand the logistics of it, the measurements, etc. They will not typically cover Armour Thyroid or any other desiccated thyroid because I guess they're not man-made. Maybe there's some big thing where they just don't want to cover natural medications because the measurements may be slightly off or what have you. But like I spoke with my endocrinologist, hey, I've got to deal with this for the rest of my life, so I need something that will be suitable for me because if I don't have the energy to get up and go to work, well, then I can't do anything productive. I need to be able to not just work, but take care of my children, manage my family, household, all the nuances of life that we all experience. We want to experience them with joy and peace and love, not in pain and grouchy and just lethargic, can't get up. So I recommend to you all to just try different medications and see what works for you. Some people do well on Synthroid with cytomel or another T3 because we all know that Synthroid is T4 only, and some people need that extra T3. They always say you'll convert it, but everybody is different, and literally everybody operates and functions slightly different. That's why I didn't want to be stuck or put in a box or a special range. I really wanted someone that would work with me and work with how I felt, and I'm grateful that we found that person. Also, I've been asked about how my migraines have gone. If you all have followed my videos, you know that I've struggled strongly and really chronically with migraines. And a good report is on the horizon because I'm struggling a lot less with them. Praise the Lord. And some of the things I think that contributed to that was my total thyroidectomy. You may have heard me mention that the physician said that the two were not related, although I tended to disagree because I thought, well, I have this huge growth around my neck just choking me. How can that not be related? But since I've had it, I have experienced a few less migraines, but that could also be coupled with the medications that I'm taking and different vitamins and supplements. And I did kind of touch on vitamins and supplements a while ago when I was talking about locating a good physician or endocrinologist that will merge the two. My endocrinologist is fantastic because she not only put me on the natural medications, she also recommended that I go on certain vitamin supplements. Some of those include B2, a B complex, D3, and a few others, and I take them at different times of the day. I also have to take calcium every day because some of the parathyroid glands or calcium glands were taken with my surgery. I've noticed I will feel slightly different if I don't take them for a while. So I also take the calcium, the magnesium. I have like my night vitamins and my morning vitamins. I even have rotating midday vitamins, and it's really made a tremendous difference. So, with that said, I don't know if the decrease in migraines is contributed to the vitamins, the appropriate dosing for my thyroidectomy, post-op, or should I say thyroid replacement hormone, but it's been a lot better. There's also some other treatments that I've sought on behalf of my migraines. One of them is I've received nerve blocks in the back of my head a few times, and those are okay, and they wore off pretty quick, but they weren't as effective as I liked. They cost a lot. It's kind of painful when you have the procedure, but then again, sometimes I feel as if when it comes to my head, I don't have a high pain threshold like some people, and maybe that's just because I've dealt with pain so chronically in my head. Also, in addition to the nerve blocks that I've received, I've done Botox. It's wearing off now, but like I'm sitting here really trying to make, that face where you raise your eyebrows and you get the frown lines. They're coming a little bit. So I know that my next treatment is due very soon, which if I look at the date, I'm about 2 weeks, maybe 2.5, 3 weeks out from my next Botox treatment. Mine consists of 32 shots all around the forehead, back of the neck, shoulders, just head in general. 32 shots, people. Not pretty, not fun. And I don't like them. Some people don't flinch. I flinch. They hurt. They hurt me anyway. So, told you about the low pain tolerance. And so, thank God I have a great pain management doctor that's really kind and really patient with me. But it's been a blessing to get the Botox. And to be honest, that has made a tremendous difference. I'll tell you what they did tell me though. Round number one of Botox typically has minimal effect for most people. Round number two, you start getting a little relief. Round number three should be able to be the dosing or the treatment that shows you whether or not it's going to be effective for you. And the Botox has really been kind of a sliding scale for me. I've had one treatment where nothing happened, and I believe that was the first treatment. Nothing other than a sore head, neck, and everything else. And I was really tired after every treatment. I will mention that. I did feel tired, and I have no idea why because it shouldn't affect level of energy. But with the first treatment, like I said, really not that big a difference. The second treatment was the best thing ever. And I mean ever, because I experienced so few migraines. I think I might have had two in 3 months, and they weren't even long. And basically, I could compare them just to a bad headache. So it was great news for me. And I thought, this is it. This is the holy grail of migraine treatment. Well, treatment three came around and it wasn't as fantastic as treatment two. I even called the pain management doctor and asked his staff if they had decreased on dosage because I had reported such good news from the second dosage. And they said no, everything was the same. But I just wonder if maybe even the manufacturer did something different. So I'm up for treatment number four and really looking forward to it because even though treatment three didn't work as well as treatment two, I have a feeling that it's still going in the right direction. But from my understanding, just so you all know, this is a perpetual treatment, and if it works, I should expect to do it every 3 months or so. They may increase or decrease the time, but regarding insurance, I believe that they only pay every 12 weeks or further out. And so if you want it a little closer in, like I feel like I could stand to have another treatment because I've been getting a lot of headaches that's tried to perpetuate as migraines, and I don't want to do that. So I just had to wait because my insurance situation. The reason why I chose to wait is because, as most things, some things just tend to boil down to money. Each treatment for the medication, the medical bills I received before the insurance took their portion was about $3,500. And so I'm sure you can see why I want to go ahead and spread it out if possible. And I don't know if you all happen to see my other videos. I don't take any pain medication anymore. So this is really it. And I say that, but I guess that's not quite accurate. I do take one pain reliever, and it's naproxen 500. However, that's basically a leave, and you can buy that over the counter. But we went ahead and got a prescription because it's one tablet at 500, excuse me, at 500 milligrams instead of taking two or three over the counter. And what the naproxen does is it does not cause rebound headaches, which is a big deal because if you get into pain management with the migraines or the headaches based off of your thyroid hormones causing them, then you tend to get in a big cycle of rebound headache or medical or medicine overuse headaches, and those can be detrimental to your recovery. The reason why is because the more you're in pain, when you cover up that pain with some sort of analgesic, then your pain receptor sites increase. And so let's just use an even number. You may have had 4 pain receptor sites, and we know that's way too low, just for example. Well, you take a few Excedrin migraines, what have you, that 4 may turn into 6, okay? And then you get another set of headaches or migraines or what have you, and you decide to take some hydrocodone or whatever you're prescribed, and those pain receptor sites continue to increase. That's one reason why people tend to need more of a particular medicine than less over time because they've gotten so acclimated to it and their body has figured out a new way or a new pathway to create more pain or allow us to feel more pain. So back a few months ago, I went cold turkey on all oral pain medications. It was brutal. And I probably wasn't even the nicest person to deal with. And I try to be a nice person, but I was in so much pain, and maybe there was some slight withdrawal, but I really don't think I experienced any withdrawal. It was just more of feeling that raw pain that was unfiltered through anything. And it took a while, and I was not happy about it. But at the direction of two neurologists and my pain management doctor, we felt like that would be the best treatment for me because I didn't even want to take any prescription medication and I wasn't overusing them. But what a lot of doctors fail to inform most people is if you use more than two pain relievers per week, and yes, I said per week, not per day, then that can contribute to medical overuse headaches or rebound headaches. And I was just really surprised that that information had never been completely given to me by a physician. They were just like, here's some pills. And so, like I said, there was a particular neurologist who really helped me through that. He had actually advised me of that at some point when I initially met with him, not the explanation of the two per week, but just to go off of everything. And I was just like, man, I am in too much pain. Not going to do it, not going to happen. You clearly don't understand what I'm going through. But after several visits, and he and a family member that attended with me, we just talked, and he shared with me his wife's story and that she had similar things and she had done that. And it was just really the presentation of how he brought it to me and brought it to my family member that it was a good route, but it was hard. He was just like, of course, it's going to get worse before it can get better, but when it gets better, it'll be a noticeable difference. So, like I say, it's an aggregate of things that has helped with my migraine decreasing. I am thankful that the thyroidectomy has gone well. I hope I've covered many things that can help you. I would like to add a couple of more things. Please be sure to rest. It's very hard to it is, oh, my screen blacked out for a second. Sorry. It is very hard to recover from anything if you don't get proper sleep, if you don't eat properly. Don't just eat hamburgers and pizza. They may be good on the palate, not good on the body. We know, but also not good on the sleep and recovery. Drink lots of water if you can, lemon water, even a little tablespoon of apple cider vinegar from time to time. It really helps. And again, these are just my recommendations. I'm not a doctor. It's just things that's been helpful to me. Take your vitamins and supplements if you're directed by your physician. You will notice that you will start to feel better. So don't be discouraged. Be encouraged because it's not going to be this way forever for you. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. I feel that I'm approaching my light daily. I am so thankful that I'm not as miserable as I once was. I can even walk around from time to time with no sunglasses. If you all saw previous videos, sometimes I would do a video in sunglasses because the photophobia or the sensitivity to light was so intense that I just couldn't tolerate it. So, in closing, thank you for watching. I hope you've learned something from this video. If you have any questions, just leave a comment. I'll try to answer them if possible. I must admit I live a busy life just like the rest of us around the world, but I'll try. I'm honored that you took the time to watch me and listen to me tell you a little bit about my journey and my thyroidectomy. If I come up with any new news, I'll try to post another video very soon. Thank you all. Have a blessed day. Enjoy your time because it's a present. That's why it's called the present. It is truly a gift of time. Thank you. Bye.